Hello, and welcome to Grug Gaming, and welcome back to our Let's Play of Stellaris Utopia. Welcome back as well to what is, unfortunately, also going to be the final episode of Stellaris Utopia. So, a couple things have happened. I'm going to go over what's happened in the game, and then I'm going to explain why this will be the final episode. So I wanted to at least look at Gur, because for one shining moment, we regained our home world. I feel like that was enough of an accomplishment for me. I got the home world back. So our people will at least be remembered for coming from Gur. So I'm going to zoom out and show you the progress that I've made in the past couple of years. It is 2289. I'm going to run through the... I've got a list here of the things that have happened. I'm going to kind of run them through. I'm going to move this list out of the way. Whoa! In theory, you can't see anything going on the screen, but I got it going on. Alright. So, 2281 is where we left off. Eventually what happened was the Uruxo Collective, right here, entered into a non-aggression pact with the Corolium Kingdom, and then the Otaga warrior clans entered into a non-aggression pact with the Corolial Kingdom. Because we are a vassal of the Uruxo Collective, that means that the Corolium Kingdom would not attack us because they would have to go to war with Uruxo. And Otaga would not attack us, because they would have to go to war with Uruxo at the same time. What this means is that I was feeling very safe, and began to expand a bit. So, as time went by, we established a colony on Mobian Prime, right here, which I wanted to establish this colony because I wanted to be able to build a Betharian generator on this spot. So this colony was starting to expand. We finally met what's it called, a trader group? Let me bring them up here. They're called the Regan Commerce Exchange. Let me bring them up in our communications. So, they're a trader enclave. And what that means is that, like our buddies here, the Curator Enclave, they take resources to give you a benefit. So for them, we actually could trade them our excess energy that we had for minerals, and same thing, we could trade them minerals for energy. What this allowed was a huge, rapid moment of expansion because we had built up a huge energy store, where we bought a huge number of minerals, expanded out, and were able to build up the infrastructure. For example, of Churgamore, we were able to build up its infrastructure hugely. Look at this, we have all kinds of research happening, and we have energy out the wazoo. Look at our mineral output. We were able to build tons of mining stations across the board. You can see here we're doing a whole bunch of mining. All these minerals coming into us. You can see that we were getting back on track. Then all of a sudden, 2285, every single scientist that was researching for us died at the same time. I don't know if that was a bug. I'm assuming it might have been, because it only told me that one scientist died, but every single scientist died at once. I don't know what happened, but we had to buy new scientists. After that, we found the remains of some terraforming equipment in 2287 on the planet Molbian, and it was kind of cool, because we found them here. We dismantled them, and that gave us the base technology for terraforming, to see terraforming gases. So we can now see this terraforming gas that would reduce our terraforming costs by 25% once we got the technology. And we also had some over here. We have some terraforming liquids. So we would have been able to terraform planets like crazy if we had gotten there. But then what happened? Well... 2287. We researched colonial centralization. That allowed me, for advance on Churgamore Prime, to finally build... did it not happen? Oh, well... To pay to begin to upgrade this to a planetary capital. So we would have had access to all the buildings. We would have been back to where we were before everything went south. But then, folks, as you see all this progress has been made, we have multiple colonies. We're building space stations in every single colony. We are built up. There's non-aggression pacts going on, so we didn't have to worry about war. Everything seemed perfect. But then, tragedy struck. I had forgotten about a key core mechanic of Stellaris, and it has cost us the game. And that core mechanic of Stellaris I've used before as a player, which is if you conquer somebody, like say we were to conquer these guys right here, the United Rihinar Imperium. If you conquer them and you request them to become your vassal, what happens is over time a timer starts to count down basically. And when that timer hits 0, if you are the holder, if you are the leader, and you are controlling a vassal nation, you can basically spend influence to take over that vassal nation and absorb them into your empire. Well, I haven't been keeping track of time because I had forgotten about that completely. And also, the game in no way, this is bothering me, there we go. The game in no way tells you that you are about to lose. So there's no pop-up or anything that says, hey, you are about to hit this mark as a vassal. There's nothing that pops up that tells you. I think they should add that in. If for some reason, some miracle of reasoning out there, anybody who works on the Stellaris game, anybody who works for Paradox ever sees this playthrough, please add that in as a player, that if you choose to vassalize to another nation, please put in a timer or a counter or something visible that warns you that that's about to happen. Now, with that said, I thought we made great progress, and actually we were on our way. As you can see, even though we don't have the military, we're way behind on number of colonies and everything, but the amount of space we had access to was increasing. Our minerals, our energy, everything was on the up and up, and space is becoming very stable over here, so we weren't going to have to worry about war, like I said. So I'm kind of really upset that this is how the playthrough is going to end, because I was feeling like we were going to come back and we were going to, you know, maybe get big enough that we would take over all of this, and that the Yuruxo would maybe use us as their military powers we built back up, who knows. But then here's what happens. So let's go ahead and start time up. Now we'll on-pause time. And I'm going to speed time up to the fastest speed. So time was going by. I'm not going to bother doing anything at this point. I've kind of run over where we're at with everybody. As far as where our colonies are. You've seen the colonies. You see what we have control of. We were coming back. Oh boy, were we coming back. We even have terraforming liquids and everything. And then, boom! Just like that, this window popped up while I was playing and said, you lost. Have a good day. Whoops. Sorry about that. Basically popped up, no soup for you. Have a good day. So, what has happened here that we are not able to see? There's no window that pops up to tell us. I kind of wish there was for this too. The Yuroxo Collective has decided to absorb us as their vassal into their collective. Now, the only thing that would make sense to me, I'll get this out of the way in a minute. Oh, the game's gonna crash. And the game crashes as well. So, we're gonna go ahead and we'll open up the Stellaris window again. We'll let you watch the... No, skip. Apparently when you lose the game, it crashes. That's really great. So we're gonna load this back up. Sorry for the black screen. I know it's not too exciting, but at least you'll be able to see, hear some music in the background, and then you'll be able to see the loading screen in a second. So the only thing that makes sense to me, as far as them taking us over, In fact, let me go ahead and see if we can get this back in. I think you're just still seeing a black screen. I do apologize, folks. Here, let me see if I can fix this for you. 1 second. Alrighty, there we go. Sorry for the break there, folks. I got it to fix. That crash ruined everything. So, back to what I was saying a second ago. I'm sorry again. The only thing that comes to mind, the only reason the Uruxo Collective would do this would be A, if their planet, if they have the ability to terraform our planets and move or they've changed their population so that they're able to live on our tropical world. So that's the first possibility. Okay? And the reason is because we're a hive mind, you can only survive inside our own hive mind. So if they take this over, they're going to lose all of this as soon as our population dies off. 2, they could have a technology that lets them change our genetic structure of our population so that we can live inside of the hive mind, which was kind of a long-term goal of ours, but we never got there. So with that in mind, the Uruxo is going to become one of the biggest blocks in the game, in the southern part of the galaxy at least. But from there, I don't know how well they would do. I'm kind of upset again. No timer, no way to get out. I've even tried fighting a battle of liberation, and because we have no fleet, there's no way for us to win. So I want to do a quick little talk about the Great Mucus, the hive mind, what I liked and didn't like, since we're down to the end of this now. Number one, I liked the fact, of course, as a hive mind, that we didn't have to worry about some parts of the game. Okay, we don't have to worry about politics. We didn't have to worry about any of the voting systems. We didn't have to worry about the happiness level of our populations. That stuff all just disappears from the game completely. But I feel like the drawbacks for being a hive mind outweigh it. And I'm saying this because I've played the Slaver race before, the Ixidar. And that is, as the hive mind, when you take over planets, if you can't live on that planet, you're going to lose that planet. You're not going to be able to hold it for territory, mineral gains, or anything like that. Once you take over a planet or have any population in underneath your wing, they are going to be destroyed and purged automatically, and you are going to get the genocidal tag with anybody that you communicate with. So that's another big negative. We didn't vassalize anybody. I think I would have been better off vassalizing other people, but again, a big part of vassalizing is that if you take over, like this nation here, the Green Nation, if we were to take them over and vassalize them, we would get a small amount of research from them every month, basically, and we would be we'd be in a state of stability between our two nations. But what would happen is either that nation would declare independence eventually, you would never get full output from any of those stars or planets because they are a vassal and not part of your empire. Or if you did take them over, if you changed them from vassal and you absorbed them into your empire, like the Uruxo are doing, you have to be able to genetically modify their population to be part of the hive mind, or they're going to die off. Again, you're going to lose all of that. I'm going to say that based on those drawbacks, and the fact that everybody hates you off the bat, unless you meet another hive mind out there, that's the only chance you have of finding a friend in space, basically. It seems like the drawbacks to the whole political part of the game and everything else are so great that the hive mind, it doesn't make it so that not having to worry about happiness and governments and everything is that great. I mean, let's look at the Ixidar. I mean, they're on the map, so we can come up here and look at them. At least look at their empire. So the Ixidar, I mean, they're slavers. Let's bring them up right here. This is I'm going to talk about the difference. If we were playing as the Ixidar instead, let's talk about what they would have. What we would have. We would be able to take over territories. The minute we took a planet, if we took it over, we would have a population on the planet that would be able to live there. We might have to worry about insurrection, but we wouldn't immediately, in 10 years, no matter what, lose the planet if we can't put our own species on there. We would be able to vassalize other nations. We would be able to do all this cool stuff that you just can't do, and we would not be automatically hated by every single person. Sure, there might be a negative for... I can't see, of course, I wish I could see their stuff. There might be a negative for them having this slaves in their nation when talking to everybody else, but you wouldn't be at this... It wouldn't be everybody in the world. There are other slaving nations out here in space, and we've pretty much seen enough of space, whoops, that I doubt there are any nations, any space empires we have not yet encountered. If there are, they're going to be very tiny. I mean, they would have to be right about here, or kind of up in here for us to not meet them yet, or to have any kind of interaction with them. And with that in mind, I highly doubt there's going to be another hive mind. We got 2 hive minds on the map. It was pure luck, I think, that we wound up right next to each other. So I've got to say, I really don't... It was fun to play the hive mind, but I don't think it is a play style that I would want to play again in Stellaris. At least the way it's set up now. The very last thing I'll say is the galaxy layout. This layout here, I found to be much less enjoyable than the layout of the Spiral Arm Galaxy. I feel like this crushes everyone together much too early in the game. In the Spiral Arm Galaxy, that kind of seemed to have spread everybody out. You had a better layering of different nations. So that's just another thing I wanted to say. So to wrap it all up for Stellaris Utopia, cool expansion, a lot of neat things like that ancient ball that we talked to here. We didn't get to any of the mega structures or anything else. Our time here is done. But a lot of cool upgrades to the game itself. The hive mind, just the idea behind it was a neat idea. I feel like I had a lot of fun. We had that new Unity system that we got to look at and see how that worked as far as getting upgrades and then getting to these upgrades here. And you can see there's a lot of cool options if you can keep going through the game. You could get all kinds of terraforming going on. You could take over the galaxy. You could become a robot, a synthetic people instead of that. You could attempt to become super psychics and become one mind across the galaxy. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. Unfortunately, we're not going to get to it. I really wish we could have, folks. I do apologize. I want to thank everybody who's watched the episodes. I want to thank everybody who's commented on the episodes. Hopefully this hasn't been a giant letdown for everyone. We kind of saw the end of this game winding down about 2 or 3 episodes ago as we were losing and losing and losing. And I will say I have no problem putting a losing Let's Play up. It's one of the possible downfalls of playing these games live. Most of my Let's Plays I end up recording way in advance so that I have them ready and I know what they'll look like going up. But this one I wanted to get out on time, and the downside of that is we lost. But it was fun to lose. It was fun to play. So folks, I'm going to say thanks for watching. Please tell your friends. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, dislike. I'm sorry that again that we have lost here. But again, we'll see you all in another Let's Play right down the line, hopefully. And as always, we hope to see you soon.